Welcome to ComSpark. We are live in Cambridge, Massachusetts at MIT, attending the Chief Data Officer Information Quality Symposium, where the world leaders in data have gathered. My name is Matthew DeRamo. I'm your guest host today. Joining me is Dr. James Meng, Chair, Award Committee, ISCDO, and a member of the University of California. James, how are you today?
Right, University of California, San Diego.
San Diego.
Right, wonderful.
Good. Well, appreciate you spending some time with us.
Pleasure.
Got a handful of questions that I'm going to shoot your way. So if you don't mind, I'd say let's just kind of jump right into it.
Go ahead.
All right. So how do you measure success at your company, specifically with what metric and how often?
Okay, I'm going to answer the question from the context of the International Society of Chief Data Officer.
Okay.
To answer your question, there are a great number of things Chief Data Officers have to do in order to provide evidence-based information demonstrating the mission success.
Mm-hmm.
The demonstrating the mission success is very fundamental, is the bottom line for all the companies, mm-hmm. and therefore for all the Chief Data Officers. At the International Society of Chief Data Officers, that abbreviated ISCDO,
mm-hmm.
when we stood that up 4 years ago, and we recognize that there are no places where we recognize and publicize how the CDOs measure their mission success.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore we established 3 awards, and the very first one was demonstrating the mission success from traditional data to big data. As you know, that all the companies are dealing with the issue of pushing out a product or services. It's not just a product and services, but dealing with within the larger context of the entire society. Mm-hmm. And for example, the first awardee in 2017, and that was Miss Barbara Latolippi. She was the Chief Data Officer from Dell.
Okay.
And what she did was she established a lean value-based big data governance model, which accelerates the business value toward achieving the mission success. And she built the governance model for both structured and unstructured data, and use a large extent of automation. They adopt a self-service information marketplace. And that allowed the company and the entire supply chain workforce ultimately delivered the success to the market. And so the most important metric for mission success was the increase of customer satisfaction.
Right.
So her success really helped not only achieving the mission success, but also accelerate the cultural transformation and viewing the company data as an asset, and then therefore achieving the mission success.
That's great. Really appreciate that. So since the CDO is a new role, right? What percentage of your job is educating your leaders about the power in which data has as that new gold currency, right? That revenue driver versus, if you'd say, the percentage of managing other professionals?
The unique aspect of CDO's challenge, especially dealing with the educating and building the fundamental understanding, what is the data, why it's a data asset, and how do we generate innovation out of it, is one of the most important and yet is a lacking area. The organizations, many organizations are failing to deal with that challenges, in a very direct and aggressive manner. So as a result, we have also established an ISCDO award, and to those CDOs who demonstrated the tangible outcome as a result of a collaboration. The idea is that the companies could not achieve what they could prior to the introduction of a CDO was that people did not collaborate together. Mm-hmm. Or when they do collaborate, they did not achieve the full potential of utilizing the data. So therefore, it was really a transformation along the axis of a collaboration from inward versus outward. Because everything the company does inside is for meeting an objective or customers outside. Mm-hmm. So unless the general workforce are aware of that change, shifting, not just to do 8 to 5 job and at the end I go home, mm-hmm. but understanding what I'm doing actually has that impact to my ultimate customer or outside world, because no company can deliver a product, services from beginning to end. You have to have supply chain, you have to have your outside partners, as well as people, workforce across all stovepipes of the enterprise, value chain. Mm-hmm. Unless you have that complete channel open all the way through, it is not possible to deliver the best, value to your product, services, to your outside customers. So as a result, we stood up this award, and in 2017, we recognized Miss Maria Villa. She was the Vice President for Enterprise Data Organization at the SAP, mm-hmm. Which is world's largest ERP company. And she not only stood up a global data strategy, building that capability, but it really helps to simplify and consolidate the data, and that allows more workforce to see the evidence how the data can become an asset, how that collaboration really needs to be across the entire value chain within the company and the supply chain all the way to the customer throughout. And that is the major understanding for our workforce to really grasp and hold on. And then from there, the workforce will create the innovations that never was realized or discovered and realized. And so that was what our International Society of Chief Data Office, organization have done in order to help along this education and the building the data talents, and therefore we could at the end deliver the innovation that the customers demand.
That's great. So taking it straight from end to end.
Right.
Understood. So what is your vision for data in the future?
Okay. The data exists for is because it helps us to deliver our product and services. Mm-hmm. And the vision of for the data is really that helps to generate the outcome the company's strategic plan is demanding. So how do we make that data and the workforce all appreciate and deliver the outcome that eventually lead to the fulfillment and realization of the strategic outcome with minimum friction? That is our vision. So in order to encourage CDOs and the workforce, and especially the CDO's leadership, work and think along this line, we established the third category of the ISCDO work is for the transformation of value impact from data service to business strategy. In other words, we should not be just thinking about fulfilling the metrics here, improvement, a little bit here and a little bit there, but overall, what is the strategic outcome I wanted to accomplish? And therefore, from there, that we can trace back to several significant improvement in the performance metrics and overall culture improvement. And that is the vision. The vision is that this is the new way of doing business. This is very similar to what 30 years ago it was the lean process improvement. But now it used to be lean on the production processes. But now the new vision is really lean the entire data process from the point of a data generation to the utilization along the value chain and the supply chain all the way to the value delivery. That entire process needs to be as lean as possible and therefore eliminate the incorrect information, eliminate the time latency, and create the value faster and right on the spot for the outcome that our strategic plan demand. So 2 years ago, Mr. Asim Tiwari, who still is the VP and the head of data science and analytics at Verizon, he won the award for having established a number of very innovative approaches. One of the approach, very down to the daily operation, was real-time churn detection and the rescoring framework, which provides an immediate view of customers' behavior, reducing their churn risk. In other words, before the customer drops your service, they were able to detect that and have the approaches to understand the concern and backtrack all the way to their own value chain and to improve it. That is a very vivid way of demonstrating, here is your vision, but you transform your vision into something very real. And the real is you have to make your customers happy. If the customer is going to leave you, you like to know that beforehand and understanding, because if this customer is going to leave for the root causes, maybe other customers will also leave. So that was a very important customer-centric propensity model that really helped Verizon to achieve the business strategy of highest customer retention rate with the lowest churn rate in the US mobile industry. And that was a very clear and understandable illustration of how the CDOs can do in order to eventually achieve their vision. So what my answer to your question is very specific, but you can generalize that the vision for the data is really a source of wealth. If you are willing to deal with data from that context and the perspective, you would pay attention to, number one, know where your data are, know where the issues are, and invest, and what tools you really need to use to extract the value out and educate your workforce. And so our vision is for the data is that is going to be the future source of wealth.
I greatly appreciate that very much, Dr. Meng, and certainly thank you for sharing insights as well to how the ISCDO is recognizing a lot of these individuals who are doing some amazing work as you just detailed. So I greatly appreciate that.
Right. Thank you. As a final remark, that I'd like everyone to know that ISCDO is going to be nominating candidates this year for next year's 2020's award presentation at MIT Chief Data Officers Symposium next year, summer. So I would encourage you to go to iscdo.org to look at the award nomination and also criteria. And it's a global, you don't have to be a ISCDO member to be eligible. But of course, we would like you to sign up as a member because this is the only society for the member and by the member. And for your own benefit, you can see the publications, you can see other CDOs experience, sharing the experience, therefore helping CDOs to succeed.
Appreciate that very much, Dr. Meng. And for more information on today's interview, please be sure to check out ComSpark.tech. Thanks again.